What's good, everybody? Welcome back to my studio. I have been out for a little bit because of a lot of changes going on, especially in this world, but I'm back tonight and I wanted to actually try to paint something that I've never done before. I've never actually been to one of those paint and sit places, and I want to give it a shot, so I'm going to give this one a full credit to Pinot's palette. I'm going to be attempting to paint this painting on this canvas right here, and I'm going to try to break it down for you as best I can. Okay, just taking a look at this painting, or what was done right here, is typically the same thing I like to do is work from the furthest thing back and then try to, keep moving forward with my painting. That way I don't have to outline every single little detail. So I'm going to be painting on this canvas right here. It's 8 by 10. Okay, so take a look at my paints that I've got tonight. I've got basic acrylic paints. I'm also going to be using this UV paint and some glow paint, so I'm going to be using that. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is start with these outer edges, plain black, and you can see I already messed up by touching the canvas. That's okay, we'll just go with the flow. What I want to do is make this really round, kind of oblong circle kind of thing going around here. You can tell that it's that black around the edges, and then finally down here actually you can see a lot more black. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take this paint as far as I can go. I came in a little tight on this right over here already, but that's okay. It's just gonna be different than the original, so no big deal. All right, so look at that, painting. I'm using a big flat brush too. And I've got my, you can see my studio in a new way. I love it. I love that you're able to kind of just hang out, relax, and paint it up. Again, this is just practice. It doesn't need to be perfect, so don't worry about any kind of perfection. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna make mistakes. I love messing up and making mistakes because it turns out so different than the original. All right, so let me make sure I get these little edges here. All right. It's okay if it's a little bit messy. So now what I want to do is let that black dry off as best as possible, because you can see we're going to start adding color very quickly here, and we want that black to be pretty dry. So you can pick up your canvas, you can blow on it, you can fan it off, whatever you'd like. So give it a shot. Okay, so take a look at this painting that they did. You can see that you start off with this bright circle, and then we start going with pink and purples, and then eventually making our way to blue out there in that sky. So, what they did was probably put like something down, like a cup or something, and outlined it. What I'm gonna do is just kind of make a small brush decision here. So you can see all my different brushes I got lots. All right, perfect. I got a small flat brush now, and I'm going to use some of this cool paint that I got. I'm going to start off with this paint. Give it a shot. Alright, so here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and make a pretty good circle inside here. And I have a little bit more control with a smaller brush. So you can see I'm able to make a better circle, and it turned out pretty good actually, not too bad. So I can continue with my small brush, put some more pink on there, and maybe make this outline a little bit bigger as we go here. And I'm just gonna thicken this up. And it's okay, take a look at the examples. That one's not perfect. There's no perfect lines. It's really choppy, and that's okay. I love that. They were trying to go with more realism, and also too making it more easy on you guys at home. All right, so I know what they were doing. All right, check this out. We're gonna add maybe a little bit of purple in that. Ooh, make things interesting, kind of break it up a little bit, bring that ring out a little bit more. Have some fun with it. Now this is a special kind of paint that I'm using right here. It's actually glow paint. So I'm gonna try to hit a black light on this when all's said and done and see what happens. Should be a pretty cool effect. Okay, so there's some purple. And now you can see I've got my pink, I've got my purple going around there. But look at all that blue. That's some rich blue going around there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my brush, my cup, take my big brush, get some nice blue on there. let's see how this goes. I'm gonna start off close, all right, away from the black. Just going right around it here. Okay. And again, imperfections always welcome. I don't want it to be perfect. This is just background noise too, guys. This is nothing to be super perfect about or anything. And of course, as you get to that black, you might start hitting a little bit of it. Like right here, you can see I hit a little bit of it, and it got some on there. So it's still trying to dry, but we still got to move on. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get brave. I'm gonna take this wet paint, this wet blue, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just say whatevs. Go around this circle, the outer edge here, and if it mixes in some of the black, so be it. All right, take a look. It is blending a little bit with the black, but that's okay. You can bring some of that blue into the black, and it will help separate it a little bit. It's gonna look cool under that black light no matter what with this kind of paint. So we're gonna just mess with it and have fun. All right, so you can see that this paint right here is very more transparent than like this paint. This is a little bit thicker paint, I can tell already, because it's really, you know, you can tell that this one's got more pigment, it's thicker. This one's a lot thinner of a paint because I'm using that glow paint. So let me just go ahead and I'm gonna add more blue on my brush, even though there's black kind of blending on there. And I'm gonna bring some of that blue out. And say, whatever, black, you're a cool color and all, but I don't like you mixing in all my other colors. So whatever, look at that, I brought some of that blue down there, see? Kind of just a nice touch. Add a little couple streaks. There. Pick up some purple too, why not? There, let's put some purple out there. Pick up some of that black. The black's cool because it just adds that contrast. If you want contrast, black will do that every time. Alright. Now this paint's pretty wet, but no big deal to me because I'm not gonna be kind of going over this anymore. Not for a while at least, until we start kind of delving into the tree and the flowers and all that. So we're gonna let that dry off. I'm gonna rinse this brush off. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this UV light right here in the middle in that moon. I wanna make sure that that pops and that glows. And then you can see right here, there's a lot of little stars. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flick my brush and my bristles and just make some little stars. Let's do it. Here we go. I've got my awesome UV paint. This is super cool because it goes on transparent. Can't even see it. So I'm gonna start in the middle so I don't touch some of the pink yet. And I'm just gonna go in here. And again, I'm trying to make this more of a circle anyway because, you know, the original picture shows that a little bit more of a circle. So we wanna keep that value going. Okay, so I got that. It's transparent. It's already starting to dry. I'm gonna go ahead and take some more of this. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just flick some of this. Ooh. Sometimes you gotta be careful. Ooh. There we go. Have some fun. Get some paint on your fingers. And get like flicked on my face. Yep, we're good. Alright, let me get some more. And here we go. You know, it just takes a little bit of practice and messing with it. That's all it is. Just having some fun with it. And it's okay, just watch out for like furniture stuff. Don't get it. Hopefully you got like a table mat or something you can put down, tablecloth. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So got some stars now. So there we go. So we got the gist of that. Now, as you can see, like, take a look at this. Like this streak right here, we want to kind of get rid of, like, this is your chance to like kind of, you know, shift some of this paint. You can see I'm just taking that same brush and I'm just, you know, just kind of making sure that it looks still somewhat decent. It's okay if some of the black gets on there. Like, look at that. It's like kind of neat. I like the contrast and the circle that it's making. Who cares if it's not even, you know? I mean, we're just practicing. And go up here up top. Just kind of just mess around with it a little bit just to see how it turns out. Trust me, under a black light, lots of cool things happen. All right, so I'm good. I'm gonna let this dry off, and then we're gonna start working on details, tree, flowers, butterfly. Here we go for our next step. I'm gonna take a small flat brush, and I wanna make some tree branches. So you can see I've got some coming right down here. It looks like I've got some up here and kind of almost surrounding this painting. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some nice black. Now again, black is a dangerous color, so we gotta be careful with it because it can really overtake your painting. So I'm just gonna improvise. I'm gonna start down here. I'm gonna just kind of make a nice little line go up like this. Kind of a really nice curve, just to get used to the paint. The best part of that is take a look at the contrast from that bright color to that really dark color. That's what's gonna make an impact on your painting. All right, let's get some more. And let's have some fun. I just want you to just kind of make your own awesome trees. I'm not gonna copy exactly this painting, but again, big shout out to Pinot's Palette for having this awesome idea. I really, really love it. Like I said, I've never actually been to one of those places where you go and you sit down and you have, you know, a little bit of help with the instructor. I actually teach them. So I've never been to like a student, and I've never really like tried to do, you know, somebody else's like obvious, like somebody else's art right here. But I just thought it was really pretty painting, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna just see how they did it, and then also give you an opportunity of how they did it. You can see how they did it, so you can break it down, and you can start breaking down things and, you know, helping yourself at home too, especially during this crazy time. All right, so you can see I went up there in that corner, and I'm gonna kind of make some coming down. Almost like a little spooky right now, these branches. I don't really, I mean, if we're doing like a Halloween painting, we're in. I mean, we're looking good right now. But once you add these blossoms, that's when you're gonna see some things really pop. All right, so you can see just the brushstrokes made some natural, awesome kind of texture. If you want to, you can see that they did add some white on the sides here. So let me just go ahead, grab another brush, and let's put some of this glow paint here. And add a little highlights. You know, just kind of making it look a little bit more fun. The transparent paint is pretty clear, so you won't see it. Now it's time to add some flowers, and as you can see, this paint is still pretty wet. The branches are wet. You know, I want to stay away from those, and especially when you're adding a light color onto a dark color, it takes a lot more paint. Now, a lot of times during my paintings, I like to add just plain white, let that dry, and then add the color. But since we're doing this painting pretty quickly, I'm just gonna have some fun with it, and I'm just gonna make these flowers pretty wet. So we're gonna practice. All you need to do is make kind of a cluster of dabs. I'm staying a little bit away from the black right now until it dries a little bit, but I'm just dabbing or blotting this brush, and it's kind of just a random cluster. You can see these guys are pretty random as well. So I'm just gonna keep doing that throughout this painting, just to see what I can get away with without touching too much black. And then once that black dries up, we're gonna have some major fun. Now you can go around and do whatever you'd like. I want you to just make it your painting, have fun with it. Let me know how it goes. Ooh, it's butterfly time. So I'm gonna start off with this big guy right here just to practice, and it just looks like you just add some paint going like this, and then almost like a little fan. And then I guess that's it. All right, I'm gonna try this little guy too. You can see there's a little butterfly down there. So let's practice with this guy. All right, because really essentially there's already this glow paint already behind it, so I didn't really need to focus so much of my energy on it. What you really want to focus is more of that outlining and that really cool black and white. So I'm gonna set this brush aside, grab a small flat brush again, and now here comes that plain black. Okay, I'm gonna kind of draw this. So here we go. Get used to your brush. Basic butterfly thing going on there, but we gotta work on that no matter what. All right, so that's just the basic shape right there. And what you want to do is kind of add these darker lines. Right, now let's do the same for this guy. Now mine's definitely not going to look as good as the example because I'm just like flying through this right now. I'm like literally only like 20 minutes deep on this painting, if that. So as long as it can look a little bit like that, and then of course what you want to do is grab maybe like a pointy brush and let's add these awesome butterfly things right here. So when you're looking at it, you want to just kind of look and see what you can do to always fix stuff and just kind of have fun with it. But really, like, you can just take details, you can just kind of mess with it. I'm gonna go ahead, maybe I'm adding more here. So I'm just not completely satisfied with this butterfly. I want it to at least shine a little bit for you. Like so, 20 minutes. Boom. Keeping it going, keeping it flowing. We're gonna check it out with the black light. Finished product, check it out. We got a nice glowing, awesome paint. Let's put it using the black light. Sweet. Alright, there you go. Finished product with the black light. Awesome. It looks so cool. Loving it. Cool glow effect. It's gonna mean any drop, find a thing's gonna die. I can leave it down, but I shoot it go against.